Hey guys, Claudine Phillips here. Thanks for joining me on this video. We are going to discuss 3 habits that you can implement into your life today that will give you amazing relationships. But first, I want to share with you the story that brought about these 3 habits that I implement into my life today that I'm sharing with you. So when I was in 7th grade, it was deep into the 80s. I was the typical 80s gal. I had the big hair, the big bangs, the braces, the huge glasses. I mean, I was just embracing my 80s fashion. Like, I had the jelly shoes. One of my favorite dresses that I wore all the time was a gray dress that just came together at the waist with elastic, and then it had this pink pinstriping with huge sleeves, puffy sleeves. Like, that's who I was. And I was just kind of hitting, my stride in life, I guess you would say, 7th grade. So I made friends with this girl named Beth, and she was the opposite of what I was going through. She had already gone through her awkward stage, so she was just on the other side, basically, just beautiful and put together, no braces. She was just no glasses. She's just this blonde, blue-eyed, beautiful girl. And she was considered, I guess, one of the popular girls in school. So she asked me to share lockers with her one day, and I was like, yeah, I'm sharing lockers with you, girl. Like, it was just such an honor to even be noticed or seen by this girl. I just felt so insignificant at that time. So we're sharing lockers, and through our 7th and 8th grade, time that we had together, we grew deep into friendship. We became best friends. We did everything together. It was just a perfect match. She was the blonde, I was the brunette. It was just perfect, right? So we have summer, and then we go into 9th grade. And then there's this new girl that comes into the picture. And I really didn't care for this new girl. Not because she wasn't nice, because she was. Not because she wasn't someone who would be generous with anything that she had. She was kind, beautiful, smart. She was everything. And that was the problem, because she got Beth's attention, and her attention went away from me. And so I decided I didn't really like this girl anymore because she took all of Beth's attention. Beth still gave me plenty of attention. We still had a great friendship, but I didn't like sharing Beth. And so I lost Beth's friendship. She chose to be with both of us, but I chose not to be with both of them. And what I lost was a new friend and my old friend. And I was left without a best friend. And so in my life, as I basically journeyed through, and through my teens, through my 20s, through my 30s, that story stuck with me. And as I developed, and as I grew deeper and went deeper and got work and took care of myself, I found that there were 3 common core beliefs that kept me from losing that best friend again. And I want to share those beliefs with you. So number 1, I had to shift my mindset. When I was with Beth in that 7th and 8th grade year, it was a beautiful year. But when change happened, when someone came over and just took that attention away from me, then I was in this scarcity mindset. I was in this not enough. I felt like Beth didn't have enough time, didn't have enough energy, didn't have enough resources for me. And more so, I believed that I didn't have that to be able to share with that new friend. So I was in this scarcity mindset. I was not in the abundant mindset where I could be like, hey, new friend, who are you? What are you about? What can I share with you? You're wonderful. Let's relate. Like, there was no room for growth or change. I was just stuck in this one scarcity mindset. And when you are in this closed scarcity mindset, it's as if you have just this one cake that you're given your entire life. Like, this is it. The one cake. And if you have to share your time or share your resources or be generous with others, you won't have enough cake left over at the end, or you may not have any cake for yourself. And so you stay in this place of just limited, of lack. But the abundant mindset, the one that has a really open mindset, that person has plenty of cakes, even has a kitchen in the back making more cakes. So if you think about the differences in that abundant mindset, the one that's open, they embrace change. They forgive. They're generous. They look at change as opportunity. They look at it as advancing and growing deeper and being a better human being. And so which mindset do you want to stay in? Do you want to stay in this lack and this closed and this scarcity mindset and kind of end up with no friends like I did in 9th grade? Or get in this abundant mindset where you can open up your heart and open up your mentality and be able to embrace life as it comes, because we are an ever-growing being. We are not meant to have one cake. We are meant to have plenty, and we're meant to give away plenty. As I approached my 20s and into my early 30s, I experienced this abundant mindset. I was having a hard time getting pregnant. Shad and I were like ready to go, like we wanted to have these babies, and no babies were coming. Months went by, almost a year went by, and I didn't have any babies in my arms. And so I had a point in my life where I could have decided, A, I can avoid the phone calls, I can avoid the good news, I can avoid being there at baby showers, I can avoid holding the new babies, or I can say, you know what, there is a baby out there for me somewhere, whether it comes from under my heart or it comes from someone else's, from someone else's body, I can hold that baby as my own one day. And meanwhile, if I can put that on the shelf and say, I'm going to have plenty, I'm going to have that baby one day, then I can be available to enjoy my friends' good news, my friends' new babies. And so when I made that shift and when I made that decision, I was able to be there to kiss newborn baby cheeks just minutes old. I was there to be with those girls that didn't have moms at the time, to be available to them and stay with them overnight. I got to stay with them and help them take care of that new baby. I experienced the deep meaning of what relationship and what friendship is because I had plenty. I knew there was going to be something out there for me. I embraced what was there. I was sad. There are moments where if I couldn't handle it, then I would excuse myself. But my friends would know because I shared with them the heartache that I was experiencing. So abundant relationship does not mean it's all, happiness all the time. It means that you're walking in it and you're being real and you're taking the masks off and you're speaking your truth in a loving way and you're embracing change and you're embracing the now versus, oh my gosh, what if it's not going to be enough? What if I never have a baby? I don't want to sit there and hold a new baby when I won't ever get one. That does not foster friendship. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you had a baby. I'm celebrating with you. How can I help you? That's embracing friendship. So belief number 2 that I embraced was to do my work. So we can't come into relationships or friendships if we're not whole first, right? Like we have to do our work. And work doesn't necessarily only mean going to get therapy. We all have childhoods and we've all had parents. And either we've had parents that have been blessings and have just been amazing parents, or we've had parents that just weren't ready to raise children yet, if you know what I mean. We all have parents, right? But either parent, they were not able to give you everything you needed as a child. So whether you had a good relationship or a not so good relationship, you still have needs as a kid that need to be met so that you can become whole. We've got to go back there, deal with them, heal it up, and then move forward so we can walk in wholeness. So we do deal with the mental component of the mind shift. We do the emotional component of the work of dealing with our past and bringing ourselves to a place of wholeness. But we also need to deal with the body. So if we are working on our body, if we are taking care of it physically, if we're moving every day, if we're eating well, supporting our systems well, and hydrating, which is key. Our bodies are made of water, like 60% of our body is water. So if we're not hydrated, our moods cannot be brought into a relationship in a positive way. We'll feel depleted. So we physically have to take care of ourselves. We emotionally need to take care of ourselves with therapy. And then with the mind shift, we are mentally taking care of ourselves. So in all those 3 components, we show up in holistic greatness, right? We show up as a whole person so that we can serve that friend well. So we can be in relationship fully and completely and whole, and we can serve them. So the third belief that I adopted, so first it was mind shift, second was doing my work, the third was rising above. Now, if we don't rise above in our lives, we are going to stay down low and we are not going to be able to see what is happening in the current situation or over our entire life. What I'm talking about is when you're in relationship or when you're in friendship, we really have this kind of roller coaster. Some people's relationships are like this because they haven't done the mental and their emotional work, right? But then all relationships go like this. So if we are cruising along and it's not doing so good, or oh my gosh, it's so great, and okay, we're fine. That's essentially a healthy relationship, but we are going to have our ups and downs. No one wants to be in a flatliner relationship. No one wants to be down, and nobody wants to be really high. We just kind of want to cruise along the waves, right? So we need to ride the wave. So when it does get bad, right, when maybe you don't agree with your friend, or your friend's not agreeing with you, or there's a misunderstanding, immediately rise above. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rise above. We need to be able to get aerial and say, what part of it is mine? How have I contributed to this situation? And what do I need to do to rectify it? Or when you've done that and you're like, I don't see my part in it yet. Like, we always have a part in it, but maybe it's something that your friend did do that maybe you got hurt by it. How can you come to that person in love and compassion and be able to approach the situation? So you've got to be able to rise above to evaluate all of that before you can come in as two whole people and work together. The second way of rising above is rising above periodically in all our relationships, just to see if they're benefiting each other. So am I benefiting this person anymore? Am I more of a burden to that person anymore? Am I someone who, like, I've been doing a lot of work, I've been doing a lot of emotional work, I've been learning a lot of information, I'm really motivated in life, but my friend that I had been friends with for 7 years, this person just really isn't moving along. Maybe it's time to like grow a little distant, because being friends with that person is maybe holding you back. Doesn't mean you lose them. And I know this is like hard advice for some of us to receive, but if you've lived long enough, there have been friends in your life that blessed your socks off in that moment. And you are grateful, and you're like, we're friends for life. And then you get really close and you're moving along, and then you just aren't the same anymore. And that's okay, because that's called growth. Maybe this person is really growing and this person is really growing, but you're growing in different directions. That's still okay. You have to be able to be mature enough. You have to be able to do all of that work, the mindset, the emotional shift, to be able to say, you know what? This isn't working for us anymore. And we're going to have to go our separate ways, but it's okay, because we can still be social media friends. We can still be distant friends. But it's okay to do that, and it's essential for you to do that, because in order for you to continue growing and being healthy, we must continue to move forward. And if you have a friend that you feel like you're holding back to stay with that friend, it's time to get aerial and reevaluate that. Be good to yourself. So fast forward many years, Beth and I are still friends. Even though we grew apart in that 9th grade year, we maintained more of a distant relationship, more because of me and the disbelief in that we could have a close relationship, right? My scarcity belief. And I regret that. She's an amazing woman, and I missed many memories and many years with her. But as I grew and as I got deeper into relationships, I realized that it's going to take me to shift to get into an open mindset and an abundant mindset to be able to have those deep relationships I wanted. I needed to do my work. I needed to go back and see what in the world am I doing that's contributing to this dysfunction in my different relationships. And I was able to go back and heal some wounds, meet some needs of that little girl that needed to be met, and then I can come now forward as a whole person into relationships. Nothing's perfect. I make mistakes, but I know I'm giving it my best. And I rise above here and there in relationships, just reevaluate to see where I am and where they are. And especially if we come across a difference, then we rise above together and we work it out. Those are the 3 beliefs and the 3 gifts that you can give yourself to have deeper, more meaningful, rich, abundant relationships. Thanks for watching this video, and if you want to go deeper into the subject of scarcity versus abundance in relationships and friendships, go to podcast episode 2 on the Claudine Phillips Show. Thanks for watching.